First at noon, the Gulf Coast is now preparing for what could be a major hurricane this week.
And while Marco has weakened considerably, Laura has strengthened to a hurricane and could become stronger, Devontae.
Well, let's get to Michelle Kennedy. Michelle, how strong are we talking?
Well, right now we're continuing to look at the system, and it is going to continue to strengthen. We're talking about Hurricane Laura, of course, is the one that we're most concerned about, and that system is going to continue to strengthen with us as we go into the next few hours. We're going to be looking at the system likely becoming hurricane status up to a Category 2, and we're going to, of course, bring you much more here in just a minute. I'm going to have more graphics for you to talk about Laura, and then Marco, of course, weakening, but some of that tropical moisture is going to be absorbed and lifting our way. All of that will impact us at least later in this week, not directly, but some of the remnants likely lifting into the Carolinas. And as we see another cold front roll through, that could sweep everything out and start to dry us out by early next week. Now, we are going to be talking about those showers and those thunderstorms out there for you too as we go into the afternoon hours, still trying to work through some of this tropical moisture that we have in place. But right now we're going to be looking at, of course, the winds along the Gulf Coast. We have some heavy downpours and the risk for some heavy rain plus flash flooding. And I'll have much more for you coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you so much, Michelle. Appreciate you. A couple was tied up and assaulted during a home invasion in Mocksville. Now, this happened around 9 o'clock last night at a home on South Main Street. The victims told police a man wearing an orange reflective vest came to their door. He told the couple he worked for Energy United and was working in the area. When the victim asked the man to prove it, another suspect arrived and both men forced their way into the home. Police say the men armed with guns tied the victims up with zip ties and put them in separate rooms. One of the victims was hit several times and taken to the hospital for their injuries. The men stole several items. Also right now at noon, Jerry Falwell Jr. has agreed to resign as Liberty University's president, but he then withdrew his nomination or his resignation. In a statement late Monday night, the university said Falwell withdrew his resignation once media reports emerged about the matter. The move follows a lot of back and forth over whether Falwell would indeed leave his position. It comes after he disclosed that his wife was involved in an inappropriate sexual relationship.
Developing this afternoon, we are learning that a 29-year-old man shot by Wisconsin police has ties to the Piedmont Triad. According to WRAL-TV, Jacob Blake grew up in Winston-Salem before moving to the Midwest for both middle and high school. And this news comes as buildings and cars are set on fire during the protests in Wisconsin following the shooting. As John Lawrence reports, while the family wants justice, they want it done peacefully.
Protests erupt across the country as demonstrators voice their anger about the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Police say they responded to a domestic incident Sunday evening. Shortly afterward, at least one officer fired a weapon into Blake's back.
Right now, we are demanding something, and that is that the cop be arrested and charged.
Blake was shot in front of his children.
We're just shooting them with the kids in the back screaming. That don't make no sense that you treat somebody like that. Who unarmed, not giving you no problem, he ain't throw no punch or nothing.
The Kenosha Professional Police Association says the video of the shooting posted to social media does not capture all the intricacies and asks the public to withhold from passing judgment until all the facts are known.
The commitment that I make to everyone, make to their family, to the officer and everyone else, is justice will be served, people will be held responsible for their actions, and we will know the truth.
Blake's family is calling for nonviolent protests.
We want justice, and we're going to get justice. We're going to demand justice, but we're going to do that without tearing up our own communities.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Jacob Blake's father, who shares the same name as his son, played football at Winston-Salem State University. He says Jacob is paralyzed from the waist down, and he is driving from Charlotte to Wisconsin to be with his son. He said his son has, quote, 8 holes in his body, and doctors don't know if the paralysis will be permanent. We'll keep you updated.
In Commitment 2020 this afternoon. After their official roll call and nomination in Charlotte, Republicans kicked off the primetime portion of their convention with speeches slamming Joe Biden and the Democrats and painting a promising picture of the man currently in office. Karen Caifa is in Washington with a recap of the convention's first night.
Republicans beginning their rebuttal to the Democrats' convention last week.
Democrats spent a lot of time talking about how much they despise our president, but we heard very little about their actual policies.
With President Donald Trump facing sharp criticism for his handling of the coronavirus pandemic, the convention's first night put frontline workers in the spotlight.
Our hearts overflow with appreciation for the incredible frontline workers.
And sought to counter Democrats' charge that he lacks empathy.
I got to see who President Trump really is. He's a good man and a great listener.
While drawing contrasts of their own between the two candidates, like former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley on foreign policy.
Joe Biden and the Democrats are still blaming America first. Donald Trump has always put America first.
And Senator Tim Scott on opportunity. With another line on Biden, voters can expect to hear a lot more from the GOP.
Look at what he already did and what he didn't do while he's been in Washington for 47 years.
Speakers like the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., framing the Biden-Harris ticket as too far left.
Biden's radical left-wing policies would stop our economic recovery cold.
In a play for the crucial swing voters who will likely decide the November race. In Washington, I'm Karen Caifa.
Karen, thank you. At least 7 people were arrested and 2 hospitalized during protests outside that scaled-back RNC in Charlotte. A video posted to Twitter showed officers running their bikes over people and using pepper spray to disperse the crowd. 4 more arrests were made after officers said someone cut down a flag outside police headquarters. Police said they again used pepper spray and 2 people were hospitalized.
President Donald Trump is adding $1 billion in funding for the Farmers to Families Food Box program. He made that announcement yesterday when he visited a produce packaging center in Mills River. So far, the USDA program has sent out about 70 million boxes of produce, keeping farmers employed and people fed. The president says he will fight for farmers if reelected. He says his administration has given more than $3 trillion in assistance to the American people. It is day